Hello everybody, this is Wolfkin Northclaw back again with the video. We're back here in Skyrim again with my khajiit vampire lord, Doshel Creek. We're going to be doing a quest here for the Creation Club. It's for a Daedric plate mail armor, or alternate Daedric armor. It's heavy. Character here is wearing the iron plate mail. Haven't done the quest related to it yet, but I crafted it for him since he needed it. So
you should talk to the Jarl up in Dragon's Reach. Lend any aid you can.
Sure. I'll get right on that. Anyway, this is a book you need. We're in the Dragon's Reach dungeon. So, let's get a read on. Vision Dirks, Book 3, by Gathers a Coin. Deladius looked outside the window of the Crescent Moon's Inn, watching the patrons below shuffle through the market sands. Ignored Butcher, catching his glance, waved hello to the Imperial before returning to his trade. At the table behind him, Rowan and Edward were with the buyer, playing an old khajiit game of tiles and bones. A fool's wager given they barely understood the rules. Zetan slowly poured over to the khajiit's end of the table. Gladius' thoughts turned to his friends back in Cyrodiil, and prayed to Xanathar the luck had found them in their part of the world. If khajiit may ask, he said, adding an entity. If khajiit may ask, he said as adding an entity. This merchandise you wish to move, either by transporting to the Drissanced in the palace. Khajiit may not ask, snapped Erwin. Or Erwin will remove his tongue. Pardon his rudeness, the cat demurred, but his sons are full of talk regarding the height of the grandmother's treasury. I'll give him a break, teased Edward. If you wanted to hide your identity, you probably should have chosen a disguise that didn't include the grandmother's personal wardrobe. Erwin scowled at her brother, angry at herself for not having a proper comeback. The khajiit meanwhile glanced at his tiles and fiddled with his ring, an action that did not go unnoticed. Yes, although it is not this thing, but this sword that gave her away, the khajiit said, revealing another winning hand. A common blade would not have such an elegant scabbard. We should drop the weapons and just grow our nails out, Edward sighed. The cat's claws raked in the pot. Maybe then we'd have better luck. If you want to take that risk, be my guest, Gladius chimed in. But if we get into a fight, I'd feel better if my hands were clutching Imperial steel. You'd feel better, sure, Edward countered. But how do I know I wasn't destined to be a mage? There was a time when Palladius wondered the same about Edward. At first glance, he was more dashing noble than thief. But behind the smile and charm was a cunning and calculating wit. Some might argue that Edward was better suited for the job than Palladius could ever be. But the best rogues cut their enemies not with the edge of their dagger, but the sharpness of their mind. Either way, khajiit is excited to meet such daring thieves. How many outsiders would even try such a thing, given the consequences? What do you mean by that? Edward chimed. Edward replied, examining his tiles. Well, the grandmothers are allies of the Dominion. Their eyes are all seeing, and their punishments are known to be all who hear their screams. And what do you think about that, furball? Urban interrupted, his eyes focused on the khajiit. Are you a fan of the Dominion? Do you have paintings at home of Lady Arunia in fancy lace? Khajiit does not care about politics, he said, raising the pot. You certainly do have brought it up. Oh, don't mind my sister. She's just touched by sheer Gorath, replied Edward. Calling the bet, I for one love a good political discussion. It allows us to find a common ground, after all. Why do you think people get into conflicts in the first place? Because it would assume it is because two sides cannot reconcile the differences. You think that one person calls Talos a man, and the other a god, and the next thing you know, you're at each other's throats. But I've seen blood feuds started over the love of a woman, and wars fought over inches of a map. Truth is, people don't fight because they're different, they fight because the motivations are one and the same. That's true whether you're the Empire, and the Thalmor, or the Clan Mothers and the Thief. Oh wait, and what about the moons? That's your the grandmother. What been and what is the motivation you both share? The same thing that drives you. The truth is, people don't fight over and fight because they're different. They fight because their motivations are one and the same. It is true whether you're the Empire and the Thalmor, or a grandmother and a thief. And what by the moons unites you and the grandmother? It is the motivation you both share. Same thing that drives you, Edward smiled, laying his tiles on the table. Read. Anne was indeed a winner, but a greater concern to the khajiit was the note Edward placed beside it. The merchant recognized it immediately. He had penned a letter that morning with the intent to betray them to the grandmother in exchange for a hefty sum of sugar and gold. Startled, he reached for his weapon, but it was too late. Edward had already drawn hers. Or Erwin, sorry. Doesn't matter, she said. This letter was for the grandmother, but the one to the guard is already. Before Edward could interject, Erwin slit the khajiit's throat. The blood splattered all over her soaked garment. A scream could be heard from the market. Now it just got flamed by two guards had dragged the Nora butcher from his stall, accusing him of Talos worship. Scott tore open the butcher's tunic and found the name of Mara. She replied with a tissue and asked the Thalmor if she had spoken for him. Scott, just disgusted, tossed the butcher into the stall before returning to her patrol. The lady shut the window. They may have won the day, but the war was another story. For now, they had a long journey ahead of them, and a bloody and body to dispose. Well, those bastards. Anyway, death of a Crimson Dirk. The bounty for Edward I of the Crimson Dirks had been up for about a year. Pretty much every Jarl had a price on his head. Only one of them had to pay it. It was a big deal at the time, but to be honest, I'd forgotten all about it. But then last Sundas, this khajiit starts barking at the gate about wanting to speak to the captain. He says he's been out to Edward since the moons themselves were suckling babes. I told him to head over to the cemetery of Valkyries. I'll find the bastard dead in the ground where the worms feed. Wasn't sure if it was disbelief or disappointment on his face when I broke the news. I wonder if it has to do with the story in the book. If so, I can't imagine how far he's traveled to get here. ever since I lost my small fingers that haven't been wiped to count. Right? Beyond the grave. There's Edward's grave in Falkreath, right? I'm gonna cut here and we'll be back in the next part going to Falkreath.